There are 4 steps that you're going to use when you solve equation word problems. The first thing you need to do is define your variable. Then you're going to write an equation. You need to solve the equation algebraically, and then write your answer in the context of the problem. Phyllis made 2 different kinds of cookies, chocolate chip and peanut butter. She made a total of 96 cookies, and 65 of those cookies were chocolate chip. How many peanut butter cookies did Phyllis make? So the first thing we're going to do is define our variable. I'm trying to figure out how many peanut butter cookies Phyllis made. So P is going to equal the number of peanut butter cookies that Phyllis made. My next step is to write an equation. So I'm going to think about what I know. I know she made 2 kinds of cookies. I know she made chocolate chip, and she made 65 chocolate chip cookies. I know she made some peanut butter cookies, and she had a total of 96 cookies. So when I write my equation, I'm going to think, okay, she made 65 chocolate chip cookies, and, so I'm going to do addition, she made some peanut butter cookies, but I don't know how many peanut butter cookies, so I'm going to list that as a P. And together, the chocolate chip cookies and the peanut butter cookies made 96 cookies total. So there's my equation. Next, I need to solve this equation algebraically. That means I need to isolate my variable. To do that, I'm going to use the opposite operation. So instead of adding 65, I'm going to subtract 65. And I'm going to do that on both sides of my equation. And when I do that, I find that my answer, P, equals 31. And so finally, I need to write that answer in the context of my problem. P equals 31. Well, P is my number of peanut butter cookies. So that means Phyllis made 31 peanut butter cookies. In this situation, it says Laura goes to swim practice 4 times a week. She swims the same number of laps at each practice. At the end of a week, Laura has completed 560 laps. How many laps does Laura swim at the end of each practice? So again, step number 1 is define our variable. I'm trying to figure out how many laps Laura swims at each practice. So X is going to be the number of laps at each practice. Now it's time to write my equation. I know that Laura swims 4 times every week. And every time she swims X number of laps. So 4 times X is going to give me her total number of laps, which I know is 560 laps. So every time she swims, she gets X laps, and then 4 times that because she swims 4 times a week. Now I need to solve this equation algebraically. So the opposite of times 4 is divide by 4. And I'm going to find out that X equals 140. And if I know that X is my number of laps, when I go to write this in a sentence, it means Laura swam 140 laps at each practice. Let's look at one more problem. John, Ray, and Mike went to lunch. They agreed to split the bill evenly. So they're going to split it evenly among the 3 of them. John paid $8.25. So my question is, how much was the total bill? What I'm trying to figure out is how much the total bill was. So that's going to be my variable. M is going to be the cost of the total bill. I know that the total bill divided by the 3 friends meant that one person paid $8.25. So if I take the total bill and divide it in 3 parts, it was $8.25. Now to solve this algebraically, the opposite of dividing by 3 is going to be to multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides here by 3. These 3's are going to cancel out, and it's going to tell me that M equals 24.75, because 825 times 3 is going to be 24.75. Well, M is the cost of the total bill, so my sentence is the total bill was $24.75. So remember, when it comes to solving a word problem, first define your variable. Second, write your equation. Third, you need to solve that equation algebraically. And then fourth, don't forget to put the answer in a sentence in the context of the problem.